ready, Carol Sue?
Ready.
Okay. It's 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. Roll call, Carol Sue.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Ted Franklin.
Here. Approval of minutes for the March 29th meeting.
I've read them. If there are no corrections, I make a motion we approve the minutes of March 19th.
And
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the minutes of March 29th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims.
I'd make a motion that we approve the claims presented for in the amount of $131,916.10.
Is there any discussion? I'll make a second. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor of approving the claims signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay, there are no licenses. Is there any changes to the agenda? None? Okay, old business, there's none. New business, application for a curb cut. I don't see anybody here. It's pretty plain. This is for improvements to be made to the property at 4231 Lexington Road. I would make the motion to approve the application for curb cut.
I'll second that.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? That was on a vote of 3-0. Race for Grace, 5K run. This is an annual event. All the paperwork is in order. Proof of liability insurance has also been provided. Is there any discussion?
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. No further discussion. I would ask for a vote. I would
All in favor?
I call for a vote on the request for Race for Grace 5K run. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I thought it was in a council meeting there for a second. We have next for consideration what we call the Jamie Milroy Benefit Bike Ride. All the paperwork approved or appears to be in order. Is there any questions?
Just one question, and I'm going to ask Chris, would you explain just briefly the name, who benefits from the Jamie Milroy Bike Run?
This has been going on for several years. Originally, it was to benefit the death of Jamie Milroy, the family, and now they put it toward children and cancer, those that have cancer.
Good. I'll make a motion we approve it.
I'll second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That's also approved on a vote of 3-0. Transfer of a 2007 Dodge truck from the police department to the parks department. I don't see anybody here from the parks department. Officer Clark, can you come forward and just give us a little bit of background on this, what we're doing and why?
This is a 2007 Dodge 1500 Ram pickup that we had in our fleet. It was one that was going to be traded in by our department, and we took the trade-in value, and the Parks Department was in need of one, so it's just going to be, they're willing to take that, purchase it from us, and it'd be a money transfer to us.
All right.
So it'd be a savings. Actually, it'll help both departments out because Parks Department, they paid retail for a new truck. It'd be a considerable amount more.
Right. Okay. Appreciate your logic. Appreciate your work on that. Is there any questions for the chief?
I'd make a motion we approve the transfer of the 2007 Dodge truck.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there no further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Voted 3-0. Thank you, Mike. Acting Building Commissioner Deb O'Connor.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Okay, this week I had 2 building inspections, both commercial. I ordered, my report's a little off this week. I apologize for that. I have actually 6 that are supposed to be here today. 1223 Erie Avenue, it was sold this week, and the gentleman who purchased it is going to start work on it. 1225 Erie, we can't find the owner for some reason. 1129 Erie, they're not here. It's in pretty bad shape. I want to move it up towards the top of the list for demolition, if possible. 1427 Erie Avenue went back to the bank, so I've got to do some work on that one.
Which bank is it? Do you know?
It was American General Finance. It's called Spring Leaf or something now, so I'll have to do some work on that. 529 Washington, I don't know if anyone's here for that or not.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry, the status of 1129 Erie?
It's, I sent a letter,
Okay.
but it came back. I know the guy who owns it. If I can find him out on the street, I'll talk to him about it, but I really don't look for him to do anything because we've already tore down one of his houses.
Are there utilities being supplied to any of these properties?
No.
None of them have utilities? Okay.
Nope.
Do you ever request a hold to LMU to make sure that that doesn't happen until we know who these people are?
Most of these have been condemned before,
Uh-huh.
so they already have the utilities out of them, and they won't, once they're condemned, the utilities won't hook them back up until I tell them to.
Until it's released?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we give them a temporary so they can go in there and work or whatever, but they don't get the full utilities until it's brought up to code.
Okay.
529 Washington Street, we talked to the guy. He said he was going to take care of getting the garage down and getting a new roof on the property.
Did he give a timeline for that?
Not yet. George talked to him, so I'm not real sure.
Okay.
I'll have to look and see. 1816 George Street, which is Mr. and Mrs. Denny, they are here. If you want to come up.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Thanks for being here today. That was 1816 George Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our main concern is the garage more than anything,
Okay.
and some soffit issues, windows broken out,
Yeah.
and the dryer vent coming out the window. It's really not allowed.
Do you own the house?
Yes.
You do? Is it a rental?
Well, my daughter had been living there.
Okay, is it vacant now?
Yes.
Okay. How long has it been vacant?
Probably 6 months or longer.
6 months.
Before winter.
What's your plans for the house?
I'm sorry, what?
Your plan? Do you have a plan?
We're going
for-
to fix it.
You
We
have?
were planning on fixing it anyway.
Okay. You plan on fixing it? Do you have a timeline when you plan to do that?
Well, it'll be this spring and summer.
Okay. Do you have an estimated date of completion when you could meet?
I would say before fall. I mean, most of it will be done right away.
Yeah, is that like,
In fact, we've already started on the garage.
okay, are you going to demolish the garage?
No.
Okay, you're going to repair the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would ask you to work with the building commissioner and to set some kind of timeline as to when you expect to actually start and when you expect to actually finish. We're more than willing to work with you, and we would much rather see you rehab this property than tear it down.
I would like a written list of what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay, and I'm sure Deb can provide the list
And
of
then I can
violations for
kinda
you.
get back to you as far as
Yeah,
How long it's gonna take.
we want to work with you, and we want to give you, ample time to get it finished, as long as it's reasonable. I don't know how closely you've been following it, but we found one property here in town. We've been getting a promise for the last 17 years.
No,
And
we're not
we're not going to wait that long. We want to move forward with this as quickly as possible. And it's a focus of this administration. And like I said, we want to work with you, but at the same time, we expect clear and defined beginning date and completion date. And we will be reasonable as long as we're seeing progress. And I, again, thank you for being here. I thank you for taking it upon yourself to address the property. And we're just trying to make things better for everybody. And, naturally with your property, when it gets fixed up, it's valued more, and there's more value with that, as well as the neighbors, and everybody appreciates it. So we do too. So if you'll work with the building commissioner, she'll keep us informed.
Okay, and they will send a written list of what we have to do.
Yeah. And does Deb have your address?
Hmm?
Okay.
Yes.
In Union County? For the record, can you state your name and your mailing address?
Jan Denny,
Okay.
687 East, County Road 350 South, Logansport.
Okay. Is there any questions for Ms. Denny? No? Okay, well, thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you. Okay.
And then I believe I have an update from Mr. Henshaw on Johnson's Broadway. He's up here, so I assume
Okay.
that's all it is.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Henshaw.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad for you, man.
Okay. Do you have an update for us on your property at 1000 East Broadway?
Well, I don't know if any of you have been by there for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We did a lot of stuff on the painting of part next to Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And we've got some plans. We don't have them written up, but in the next, replacing that big front window in the front next to Broadway. It's a big window.
Okay.
8 by 16. I don't remember the exact size.
Okay. Do you have any timeline for completion?
Oh boy, it's hard to figure it completion because we got so much work to do there. We're going to be working a lot. And with my daughter, the way she is, I reflect to her the cancer she has and the brain cancer.
Uh-huh.
And so my wife goes there about every other day, and she lives over South Kokomo.
Okay.
And I go when I can, but I just...
Sure. I don't have the minutes of the previous meeting before me, but I believe the last time you were here, we had asked for a timeline when you would begin the work on it, and it sounds as if you've started, but we're also looking for a completion date. And I think we were pretty clear to say that it's been 17 years, and we're not going to wait 17 months. We need to see substantial progress in a timely fashion, and I'm hoping that you understand the level of seriousness that we have here in addressing especially that one property it's on one of the main thoroughfares through town, and it's been a problem that the city's been dealing with for 17 years. At least our records go back for 17 years. And quite frankly, our patience is running out. And I have to stress to you again that we're giving you the opportunity to fix this property up before we take it upon ourselves to do it. We want to work with you, but I can't make it any more clear that we need to see a timeline with a beginning date and a completion date and all the steps in between, how you plan to address that property. Quite frankly, taking the scaffolding off the porch and the ladder off the porch doesn't address the property. It doesn't fix the property, and we're trying to get the property addressed, not just the equipment that was stacked around the property.
But they were really stressing about that scaffolding. That's the reason we took it off the first thing, and the ladder was up there. We took it off the same time we did that.
Right.
And then we started down on, on the ground floor doing painting and around the roof edge and everything where it really really makes a big difference if a person looks at it.
Uh-huh. Well, quite frankly, I haven't seen a lot of difference as I've driven by. I know that you're there, I see people there, but I don't see a whole lot of improvements going on. I know it's a big task, and I know it's going to take quite a bit of an investment, not only in money, but in time, especially if you're going to do it yourself. And I would, again, ask you to get a timeline to the building commissioner's office with a beginning and a completion date when you plan to have all the improvements that are outlined in her report finished.
Boy, it's hard for me to say anything about a completion thing.
I understand difficulty, but we need one. 17 years doesn't cut it.
Well, I haven't been working on 17 years.
The house has been on our condemned list or on our problem list for 17 years.
Well, when I took it over, I put in new electrical system and everything.
And I appreciate your efforts.
But LMU went along and they said, we appreciate you taking this over because that was an electrician's nightmare.
Uh-huh. And I appreciate the efforts that you're doing, but we need to see more, quite honestly. We have to see more progress on it. I don't know how to make it any more plain than that.
I'm not a lying person, and it's hard for me to put a finish line without lying.
It's honestly, it's not going to be hard for me to address it. We've given you ample time.
I don't think not much needs to be said much more, I guess.
Well,
Trying to do what I can.
Sure, and we want to work with you, but we need to see progress, timely progress. 17 years or 17 months is not going to work.
Progress. They even stopped by and said, we'll see what you're doing. It's really making a lot of difference.
Sure.
And I don't know why you couldn't have noticed it.
Well, I have noticed that you've been there. I've made that plain, but the house has really been allowed to deteriorate way more than it ever should have. And I think you said you've owned it since 1995?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think I said I don't even remember when I
Yeah,
bought that.
it's since 95. And I know that the building has deteriorated since you've owned it. And so we're going to address those, and we're going to move quickly on that. I encourage you again to get a timeline to us. We want to work with you, but our patience is running thin, honestly. We need to see some progress. A timeline is not that difficult to generate. Any questions? I appreciate you being here.
Kevin George had stopped down there.
Sure, I know they have. And just because they stop doesn't mean that the property gets any better. They're doing their job to see exactly what is taking place. And honestly, there's not a lot of improvements that are being made. I know you're trying. I can see some effort there, but effort and improvements don't equate to the same thing. All right. Thank you very much.
So we don't leave this just open-ended, could we set a date? We'd like to have a report back as to what he intends to do.
Yes. What would you suggest?
Deb, what we'd like to do is just set a date for Mr. Henshaw to make sure he's communicated with you and that you can report back what his timeline is and the repairs he wants to make. Would it be...
I think we already gave 30 days.
Yeah, I was thinking can we do that within the next week? Mr. Henshaw, can you get with Ms. O'Connor within the next week and talk about what you're going to do and when you're going to do it so we can have some firm... Okay.
Okay.
If you would, please put it on your agenda, and we'll talk about it, hopefully.
Next
get
week?
That by next week.
Okay. By next week. We'll expect a timeline by next week that is at least in the possession of the building commissioner. She can share it with us. And if we need to, we'll contact you and have you back again. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Let's see. Other building inspections.
I'd like to remove 3 from the condemned list. One was a garage and 2 were houses, and the owners all tore them down in a fairly timely manner, so I'm really happy about that.
Good. Good work.
So, and then I'm putting one on the condemned list. They're going to work on it as soon as the insurance comes through and stuff, and that's 1400 West Market, the old CVS building owned by Kesling's, where the car went through it.
Oh, Okay.
And then I, of course, messed up my permits again this week. I don't know how to count, evidently. So I had 10 actually instead of 13, and I had 3 contractors registrations.
Okay, any questions for the building commissioner?
I would make a motion we approve her report.
I would second.
Thank you.
It's been moved and properly seconded to accept the building commissioner's report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Deb. Good work as usual.
Thank you.
Now I would ask for acting code enforcement officer's report.
Excuse me, I didn't do a whole lot for that this week. I sent out 3 letters and continued 4 and I cleared 4. As far as tagging cars, towing cars, I didn't get any of that done. So, but I am working on a list as I'm out for properties that are gonna need to be mowed as soon as we get that taken care of. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to get it composed so I can get that ready to go.
Okay. Any questions for code enforcement?
Make a motion we approve the report.
Second?
It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the report. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Carries on a vote of 3 to nothing. Thank you, Deb. Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I respectively submit my report for Mount Hope Cemetery and the Logansport Street Department for your review at this time. Hopefully you will approve it.
It's been a fairly busy year, has it not?
It's getting even busier, sir.
Okay. I want to compliment you. I walk in the cemetery at least 3 times a week, and it's about a 4-mile walk, but I get through the whole thing, and I can definitely see the effort that you and your staff are putting forth. I don't think you saw me, but I did notice you riding the lawnmower up there about 6 o'clock the other night, and I was throwing things at you, but you weren't aware of it. Report looked good, cemetery looks good. I appreciate it, and I would ask you to keep in mind we have Memorial Day coming up, and I know the cemetery receives a lot of visitors during that time frame, and I know that you'll put forth your usual good effort to make sure that it looks as outstanding as it can. Questions for Building Commissioner? I'm sorry, for the Public Works
You
Department?
do look a lot.
I deal with her a lot more.
I would make a motion we approve those two reports.
Second?
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay. Acting Chief of Police Mike Clark. Hi, Mike.
Well, good morning. I did not have enough time to complete the monthly report. It'll be at the next Board of Works meeting. Just to give you an update on the hiring process, as of the deadline was 4 p.m. yesterday, all 9 applicants turned in their formal application, and we'll move on to the next step of the background investigation. So that's where we're at with that.
Do you have any idea when you will complete the background, when you'll have a name submitted for approval by Board of Works?
I'd say guesstimate would be a month,
Okay.
4 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
Once they're through the process, we're going to have a board meeting tomorrow, and we'll finalize, get things rolling with the backgrounds. Then there'll be interviews and finish the process.
Okay. Questions for the chief?
No questions from me? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Fire Chief Strong notified me that he is in mandatory training today and will not be here to submit a report. Board member comments?
I have none.
None? No board member comments. Visitor comments? Visitor comments? None? I would make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.